Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway. We are here to qualify for the opening race of the season in the 2024 Turkey Hill Truck Series. Tonight, the Featherlite Trailers 250 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG, the channel. Right now, we qualify for the opening race of the season. And we're so excited for this Turkey Hill Truck Series season in 2024. We have some new players who are running in a rating series for the first time in their career. And we also have some new elements as well. We started off the season, in the ratings question at least, with a range, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these opening races play out with that range that you guys selected for the aspects. Not everyone's going to be just a couple points off each other to start this season. Often, because of that, we might very well see the same drivers run up front the entire season. Another huge change, maybe not too huge because we have done qualifying for this series in the past, is qualifying. But we're doing it much differently this time around. Two groups of qualifying. We have Group A and Group B. They will be determined by the odd and even points position drivers. Of course, the positions that all the drivers are in right now were determined by the owner's points from last season. But the top three from each group advance on to the Fast Six. Those who do not qualify in Group A will start on the inside lane from rows 4 on down. Those who fail to qualify in Group B will start in rows 4 on down on the outside lane. And then in the Fast Six, it'll be single truck qualifying. The fastest driver not only wins the pole, but wins a championship point towards the championship series. It's going to be very interesting to see. This is a format that we are looking to use in the Wawa Cup Series next season. And we're going to test it out here in the trucks to see how it works out for these guys. Hence why you're seeing qualifying for this race and only this race this weekend. We've already had a couple of races in the Lenovo Pro Series and the Hers Sprint Series from last night. Tonight, we have the opener in the Turkey Hill Truck Series season, an 18-race season, and all 18 races will feature qualifying this year. So, we're excited for that. We're excited for this race, as we always are. The traditional opening event of the Turkey Hill Truck Series, the Featherlite Trailers 250 at Daytona. Always a fun time here. And it's going to be fascinating to see who wins the pole right now and who ends up getting the race victory later on tonight. We got some new faces. Matthew Burnett in the number 14. First time as a full-time driver, and only a handful of starts in the Sprint Series leading up to this race for Burnett, but driving the truck that won the championship last year, that at Beacon Quantum Racing. Loudovick Charette ended up winning the championship a year ago in this ride. She moves on to Velocistar and left this truck open as the first pick in the draft, and Kyler Sestrai picked Matthew Burnett. So going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do, especially these new drivers. Here's a driver who's not new. That's Nathan Stapleton, returning to Triad Racing in the number 61. Of course, for Nathan, doesn't get too much of an opportunity to run as a driver on the channel. Of course, the owner of NS Racing and pretty much every other series on the channel. But this is the opportunity he gets to be behind the wheel with Travis Crampton owning this truck. Avery Alford joining Stover Motorsports for this season in the Truck Series. Did not have the best of runs last season in the trucks, but would love to rebound. Of course, won the opening race of the Wawa Cup Series this season. And Stover Motorsports was a pretty solid team last year, even though they didn't go to victory lane. Their drivers finished 10th and 17th in the points, and one of their drivers didn't even do their ratings, so not too bad for a team that had a driver who didn't do their ratings. Lenard Kocsmar, this is a driver we're very excited about this season in the Truck Series. Of course, Kocsmar has been winning races over in the Hers Sprint Series, been doing an excellent job over there. He's going to be joining the Evans-Ross Racing team, and this is absolutely a team and driver to watch out for this season. And I feel like this team could knock off a couple of wins. Logan Williams was in this ride last year, and they got a couple of wins with Logan. And Lenard definitely strikes me as a driver who will adjust to the ratings format fairly well. Scep Silver. It's going to be the first career start for Scep Silver in the 06 for Parker Davis Enterprises. You see the Grattan Industries logo on the quarter panel. And if you haven't been following up with the way the Turkey Hill Truck Series has been forming up this season, you know that Grattan Autosport has a lot of alliances, and we're just about to pass another one. However, not necessarily the alliance that they want to have. There's something amiss on that 13 for Igor Barreto and the Webb Racing Enterprises machine. Webb Racing Enterprises remains the same from how they were last year with Igor Barreto and Brian Webb, but this year they're driving the Fords and have the alliance there with Grattan Autosport. Obviously, Drew Webb joining that team in the Wawa Cup Series next year. We know that's going to be huge. Matthew Hubert in the 52 machine. Andrew Williams leaves this team for Broke Boys Garage. You left the door open for Matthew Hubert, who has had an excellent season in the Wawa Cup Series. I'm sure Ryan Durrani is excited to have Hubert as a driver this season. And isn't it wonderful to have Jesse Turner back in the trucks, driving for Andrews Racing this season. And, of course, Jesse has not had the best of runs over in the Cup Series, but maybe things will turn around, a fresh restart for these guys, and you know what, Andrews Racing, they got a pretty solid program. They didn't have the best of runs in the trucks last year. Of course, a bit of turmoil there with the team. It was actually originally going to be owned by someone else, but John now fully owns this team as the owner. I think it's going to play pretty well for Jesse Turner this season. Phillip Torres returns to Millennium Motorsports in the number 44 machine. As a classic scheme with the U.S. Air Force. Always love having this scheme on the track, commemorating the U.S. military. And Chase Harris, definitely love to see him keeping his two drivers from last season and his two schemes, including this one. And we've had this scheme in the Truck Series since 2019. It's definitely been a staple of the series in the custom seasons. And once you know, this is the 10th season of the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Only the third, though, for this driver of Thomas Troxell, driving for Evans Ross Racing, returning to this team for the 2024 season. Whereas Troxell still in the hunt there for the championship in the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, tomorrow night, a big night in the Valvoline 400. Here is the defending race winner of the Featherlite Trailers 250. That is Derek Hamill in the number 51 for Grattan Autosport. And we know Derek's going to be a threat to win this race tomorrow, or should I say tonight. We're doing qualifying the race on the same day. He's going to have a good opportunity at getting it done again, so we'll have to see how that goes for him. Bruno Di Giacomo, very strong driver the early part of last season. He moves over to Trackhouse Racing for this season, and is a driver who absolutely could have a shot at the championship if things go his way. We'll have to see what he can do there in the number 3 machine, and we got a gaggle of cars right here and a lot of strong drivers. Laura Chung in the number 4, replacing Rogal Dorn there at Hairgel Motorsports. Of course, Laura Chung won 4 times in the Truck Series 2 years ago. She would love to return to that winning form, and this could be a good combination for Laura going into this season. You got Rogal Dorn there in the 98, who currently has the fastest time, looking to advance onto that Fast 6 and go for the pole. He's also there at Trackhouse Racing, teammates with Bruno Di Giacomo. Got the win at Talladega last season, but outside of that, had a miserable campaign in the Turkey Hill Truck Series a year ago. We got the 58 machine. This is Skyler Taylor. This is her first to go around in a rating series as a driver. It's going to be fascinating to see what she can do. This is OSC Racing. BB Ruiz, the owner of this team. They're second right now, and they're all running fast because they're in this line. And we would be remiss not to mention this driver, Nicolas Samudio, returning to Grattan Autosport in 2024. The only driver who has driven in every single Turkey Hill Truck Series event. I reminded you guys this is the 10th season of this series, and he has been in every single Truck Series race. It's amazing that he's always been a part of this series, and even though he didn't get a win last year, he was up there in the points, and you know he's going to be a championship favorite there with that team. And so will our defending Turkey Hill Truck Series champion of Loudovick Charette, making the move over to Team Velocistar. You know Loudovick's going to be good, driving for one of the best teams. And, of course, she had a great run last year, even though she only got 1 win in the series last year. She's got a good shot at winning the pole here in this race, as she currently runs in the 3rd position. We'll go back through. I think we missed LJ Semedo, who is the defending Daytona 500 champion, driving there for the Dracoan Racing Enterprises team. This is his first ever run in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, so excited to have our reigning Daytona 500 champion in the field. Outside of that, I believe we have mentioned all 18 drivers from this group, including Igor Barreto, who is not going to get a good time. Igor's going to start 35th in the race tonight. These drivers, how about Bruno Di Giacomo just sneaking his way in that top 3 right at the end, knocking Loudovick Charette out. Keep in mind, only the top 3 advance of the Fast 6 to go for the pole, and it's Rogal Dorn, Bruno Di Giacomo, and Skyler Taylor, who currently have the 3 fastest times here in Group A. It'll be fascinating to see what their trucks do with raw speed. Those are the 2 Trackhouse trucks that have a lot of speed in the draft, at least right now. But you can definitely tell the ratings already coming into effect. A pretty wide range between the fastest trucks and the slowest trucks, not counting Igor Barreto, of course. It's going to be very interesting to see how they do on the racetrack by themselves. And it's going to be interesting once we get to some of these other tracks this season with this format and how the qualifying will end up playing out. And, of course, a championship point on the line for whoever wins the pole here tonight, which, hey, it's a strict points championship all the way through here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. So you know how important it is for you to get as many points as you can. Loudovick Charette will start in the 4th row, 7th for the race tonight. Laura Chung, Nicolas Samudio, LJ Semedo, Scep Silver, Lenard Kocsmar, Nathan Stapleton, Avery Alford, Matthew Burnett, Matthew Hubert, Jesse Turner, Phillip Torres, Derek Hamill, Thomas Troxell, and Igor Barreto. That'll be the inside lane from rows 4 on back for tonight's Featherlite Trailers 250. Rogal Dorn, Bruno Di Giacomo, and Skyler Taylor make the Fast 6, and they'll be going for the pole here in just a few moments. But first, we got to get to Group B, see the other 18 drivers running in this season's Turkey Hill Truck Series. Let's see how it all goes down, who joins this top 3 to go for the pole here at Daytona. And here we go again for qualifying, this time with the 18 other drivers that are running full-time this season in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Of course, no hot seat in the Truck Series, so it's these 36 drivers that go out each and every week going for this Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship. How about Baroque Boys Garage right here? How about these schemes as well, which I am fairly certain Caleb Rose painted, and, you know, it's very interesting now that Caleb Rose, being the right-hand man of the channel, is a driver in this series, so you will not hear Caleb in the booth alongside me for the Turkey Hill Truck Series this season because, well, he's in the truck. And it's going to be fascinating to see what this team can do this season. They did not have a good run last year, though Caleb Rose saw some flashes of brilliance at the end of last season in the Truck Series. Nothing could be said about the 11, which was driven by Ethan Lewis a year ago. Now they have Andrew Williams, a 2-time winner from last season, and he got those 2 wins with Durrani Racing. This could definitely be a strong team as the season goes along. I'm very excited to see what Braden Perez can do, and it's good to see Braden Perez give Andrew Williams the ride and the opportunity there at Baroque Boys Garage. I know there's a bit of a tension between those two on the Cup side, at least in terms of Andrew's team and Braden leaving at the end of this season. But good to see some of these owners give rides to their owners in the Wawa Cup Series that they're leaving. Drew Webb doing the same thing with Igor Barreto over at Webb Racing Enterprises, so definitely nice to see that. But excited to see what Caleb and Andrew can do. Of course, like I said, Andrew a 2-time winner last season, and he got those wins fairly late in the season at Pocono and Las Vegas. He was definitely a strong driver near the end of last year, and if he has a strong truck near the end of this season, he could definitely have a shot at the championship. Joe Rutkowski, speaking of championship, the 2020 Truck Series champion. He's the defending champion of this series and almost won it last year. Was second in the point standings in this 36 for Millennium Motorsports. And I know Joe would love to go for it again. The thing is, even though he's a champion of this series, even though he was second in the title last year, Joe has never won a race as a driver in the Truck Series before. As far as I know, he has not. And I'm going to check that right now because I'm curious if I am in fact right about that statement. Joe doesn't have many wins as a driver on the channel. He's got Well, he doesn't really have much as an owner either. So we're gonna look that up here for you. But in the meantime, this is the driver I feel like a lot of people are going to be looking at this season in the Truck Series. That is Blaine Keyes, who won 3 of the last 6 races last year for Team Velocity. Of course, he was given the invite to return, and of course he accepted it. And of course, he's in contention for the Wawa Cup Series title now in that battle with his teammate in this series, Loudovick Charette. It is going to be very interesting to see how they race each other tonight in comparison to tomorrow night, because tomorrow night the stakes are much higher for both drivers who are up there, top 2 in the points title. They can't let these other drivers like Nicolas Samudio and Thomas Troxell, Matt Tuck, close in. I know Matt Tuck wouldn't mind it, but we'll have to see how it ends up shaking out in that regard. We've got ourselves a couple of new drivers here, or at least one of them. Be the first career start for Emily De Benedetti in the 57. One of Alex Aventali's many drivers, but his first time having a driver in a rating series, and that's going to make things very interesting. See what he can pull off here with Andrews Racing. Going to be a teammate there, the Jesse Turner, so obviously a lot of good support there at that organization. So we'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out for De Benedetti in her rookie season. Here's a driver who has a lot of success and is going to be a strong driver in a Grattan Autosport affiliated car. That's Jack Haas in number 6, who is also up there in the Wawa Cup Series title race, though he fell back a little bit after that run at the Michigan International Speedway. I do apologize. Joe Rakowski has won twice in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. I've just done so many races, I cannot remember them anymore. I don't remember what races those were. But the funny thing is, the season he won the championship and last season where he finished second, he in fact did not win a race in either of those seasons. So this is an interesting little factoid right there. Corey Case in the 59 for OSC Racing and BB Ruiz. I forgot to mention that the Parker Davis Enterprises right here is owned by Max Davis, the other new team, but they're associated with Grattan Autosport. They're not going to run like a new team, no doubt about it. But Corey Case here in the 59 machine did not win last night in the Sprint Series here at Daytona, but won the first race here at Daytona in the Sprint Series back in February. And Corey Case is going to be his first run in a rating series, and once you look at that, it is Blaine Keyes, Corey Case, and Jack Haas, who have the top 3 spots here in Group B, looking to join Rogal Dorn, Bruno Di Giacomo, and Skyler Taylor in that first, from that first group, I should say, to go for the pole here in this Featherlite Trailers 250. Going to be interesting to see. You got 2 OSC cars, and then you'll have the 2 Trackhouse cars, but you also have the 28 machine. That is driven by Eric Monaco. This is a very interesting situation. Obviously, you guys know how it works here in the Truck Series with the reserves. You have to do your ratings a certain amount of times in order to get a reserve. Eric Monaco was in this ride last year for TP Motorsports, so he's back, but he did not have a reserve from last season, so it's going to be very interesting to see what Monaco can do back behind the wheel of this 28 machine. Of course, it's looking pretty good for him right now. He's got the fastest time, and Zachary Fitzwater, who won this race, it was a couple of years ago. It was either 2020, well, with 2021 we didn't have a season, so 2020 I think he won this race 4 years ago. Sure, he'd love to get it again. And all right, campers, it's Andrew Miller in the 69 for Durrani Racing, returning to this team from last year. Of course, Durrani Racing had 2 wins with Andrew Williams last season, but Andrew has gone over to Broke Boys Garage, but Andrew Miller staying with the team, and we'll see what Miller can do this season. Number 5 this season, that'll be Bryce Eagan, his first run in the Truck Series. Of course, he's had a very good year in the Wawa Cup Series there with Andrews Racing, even though he will probably tell you otherwise. He has had a good season in his rookie campaign with that team. And I have a good feeling about him this season in the Truck Series here with Dracoan Racing Enterprises and that number 5. Justin Zeidel in the number 88. First time running the Truck Series in a while. Great to see him back behind the wheel, and he's going to be joining TP Motorsports there alongside Eric Monaco. Aaron Abel joins Angel Mafia Motorsports for this season, replacing Chris Reynolds in this ride. Of course, Aaron Abel had a very strong opening run to his career in this series 2 years ago. And though he's yet to get a win in this series, I'm sure he'd love to have an opportunity with this organization and this team. Here's the other Beacon Quantum racing car of Duncan Ward, and this one's an exciting one. Obviously, Duncan Ward got the win at Michigan in the Sprint Series a week ago, and I'm sure he'd love to get a good run here in his first ever full-time campaign on the channel. And he's got a great ride as well. Of course, this team won the championship with Loudovick Charette last year. You know it's a solid team, and Duncan Ward's going to go for it, as Eddie always likes to say. He's going to go for it hard. One of the most aggressive drivers out there. Still not as aggressive as Austin Dillon, which, hey, he ain't going to be in the play. It better not win. He better not win this Saturday. I'm going to not be happy if Austin Dillon wins this Saturday. But NASCAR did the right thing. And I'm actually recording this the day they made that announcement that he would not be playoff eligible because of his Richmond win. You can feel the air quotes from here. Logan Williams in the 72, a two-time winner from last season. And definitely a great driver. Of course, he has multiple wins over in the Wawa Cup Series and looking to get a possible Wawa Cup Series win tomorrow night. He would love to get a race win in the Truck Series tonight. He's driving for Triad Racing. Definitely a great team. Going to be teammates with Nathan Stapleton. Those guys are going to have a good year. That's Christian Vargas in the 24, replacing Nathan Orman there at Angel Mafia Motorsports in 2024. See what Vargas can do there for Angel Gutierrez's team. And we got the 01. Roberto Crown Jr. finished 10th in the points last year for Stover Motorsports. Got the call back to return. You know they are a very good driver, at least in the Truck Series, and I feel like they're going to have a good season with Brad in that ride. And then there's Brian Webb in the 99 driving for Webb Racing Enterprises, but for the other Webb, and he's got Gradden Autosport power in his truck this season, so it's going to be fun to see Igor and Brian drive those super-powered Webb Racing Enterprises machines. No doubt about it. It's going to be a lot of fun watching those guys this season. I believe those are the 18 from this group. Don't believe we've missed anyone from this one in terms of our conversation. It's Eric Monaco, Zachary Fitzwater, and Corey Case that look to advance on to the Fast Six and go for the pole here in the Featherlite Trailers 250 at Daytona. And maybe a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Fitzwater has struggled in the rating series. It's quite obvious. Of course, he's driving there for Harrisville Motorsports in the 82 machine. This ride won twice last year with Bruno Di Giacomo, so, I mean, you know that's a solid team. Harrisville Motorsports, they bring fast cars. Maybe not quite the fastest, but cars that can absolutely compete. And Fitzwater knew that going in. And, I mean, Harrisville does get rid of a lot of his drivers, but is he going to really get rid of Zachary Fitzwater? I don't know. We'll have to see later on down the road. Obviously, a lot of turmoil with that team last year with Rogal Dorn, and that led to one thing after another. But hey, everyone's got their ride for this season. And Eric Monaco, Zachary Fitzwater, and Corey Case are going to go for a pole here at Daytona. Jack Haas will start outside row 4. Then it's Blaine Keyes, Bryce Eagan, Justin Zeidel, Aaron Abel, Joe Rutkowski, Andrew Miller, Emily DeBenedetti, Andrew Williams, Roberto Crown Jr., Logan Williams, Caleb Rose, Christian Vargas, Brian Webb, and Duncan Ward starting from rows 4 on back on the outside lane. All right, let's go ahead and see who wins the pole here for the Featherlite Trailers 250. The top 6 go out on their own, and the fastest lap moves on here for the pole position. And they also get that extra bonus point as well. And unlike in NASCAR, the order in which they qualify in this session is how they will start from positions 1 through 6. We're not going to do it where they were in Group A, so they start inside and all that crap. We're not doing that, you know. Fastest, second, third in the order, that's how they start, because that's how it should be, because guess what? It makes sense. And we like to make sense over here, you know, and that's about all the money I've ever made from this is cents and not dollars. So, you know, that it all just works out. Let's go ahead and see who wins the pole here for the Featherlite Trailers 250 at Daytona. All right, folks, here we go. It's the Fast Six. It's Corey Case, Skyler Taylor, Zachary Fitzwater, Bruno Di Giacomo, Eric Monaco, and Rogal Dorn in that order. 1 lap each. Fastest lap gets the pole and a bonus point towards the championship in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Of course, regardless of the fact these guys will start in the top 6 for tonight's race, so regardless, it's going to be a good starting position, but winning the pole for the first race, especially under this new format, is a big deal, and like I said, we're looking to utilize this format for the Wawa Cup Series next season. Definitely could get very interesting in terms of how the championship ends up going down, and I think it solidifies too, at least especially when we get to the intermediate and short tracks, the faster drivers are going to more consistently start up front than the randomization that we get in the Wawa Cup Series sometimes. We saw that with Matt Tuck at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, and though this idea was already in the works prior to that, it kind of solidified the idea that, you know, maybe we do need to have something to set the starting lineup for these races. And we'll see. Corey Case is thankful he did it because he's going to have a shot at the pole for his first ever full-time start. Of course, it's a shame for Corey. Just barely missed out on that Her Sprint Series championship. Got taken out of contention last week at Michigan and then didn't even start last night in the Sprint Series race last night. 169 there through the corner. As you see, we'll have to see what his time is in comparison. These guys are going to be going a bit slower than they did in the group qualifying because they were in the draft for all that. Here, it's a single car run, and it's all about the pure speed of your truck. 51.757 there for Corey Case. I should say it correctly. You'll see that on the side of your screen. Let's go ahead to our next driver, Skyler Taylor, Corey Case's teammate right there here for Daytona qualifying. Here's our second driver out here in the Fast 6. That is Skyler Taylor in the number 58. Of course, their first run in a full-time series, although they have a lot more experience than Corey Case behind the wheel. However, it's not been a good run for him this season in the Sprint Series. They have yet to go to victory lane, assuming I'm recording this, the qualifying, before I record the Sprint Series race that you guys saw last night. So we'll just have to see how it ends up shaking out here for Skyler Taylor. Maybe they did win last night, and they're looking to get the pole and the win tonight. That's why, for the majority of the things that I do, I try to record in order. Now, with Caleb's stuff, I don't know who won the Lenovo Pro Series race, because that's also yet to be recorded. And more likely than not, I'm not even going to be in the booth with him, so I'm not even going to know until it actually goes up. But, you know, a busy time of year here on the channel for us. We got 5 or 6 different series going on. I mean, the IndyCar series ends this weekend, but hey, we're having a heck of a lot of fun. We only do it like this, though, for these 2 weeks, and then we kind of cool it down a little bit because, you know, you can't keep doing that. You're going to burn yourself out. Looks like Skyler Taylor's a bit faster here in the 58. Of course, both Taylor and Case with similar trucks at OSC Racing there. BB Ruiz, first ever run as an owner on the channel. It's going to be interesting to see what this team does. We really don't have a basis for what they're going to do. We have a basis for Parker Davis because they have that alliance with Grattan Autosport. These guys on their own as a Toyota team, so we'll see what they do. But, you know, pretty solid showing, and I think Taylor's going to definitely be faster than their teammate. Definitely quicker there through the corner. Coming across the line here for Skyler Taylor, it is going to go to a 50.1325. That's 4/10 quicker than Corey Case right there. So looking good for Skyler Taylor here in the Fast 6 qualifying for Featherlite Trailers 250 action. All right, here he is, Zachary Fitzwater. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. One of the, if not the, most recognizable name in all of NR2003. As I stated in the group sessions, has not adapted too well to the rating series here on the channel. It's definitely been a struggle for him, and with that, has actually allowed Nicolas Samudio to close in and tie him for that all-time wins list. This is a race tonight where that tie could be broken. Of course, both Samudio and Fitzwater in this race, and Fitzwater may actually get the upper edge and get win 29 ahead of Samudio. But they're also both in the IndyCar Series. They're both in the Cup Series, and there are 3 straight races here where they're both running in each event. So it's going to be fascinating to see how it ends up shaking out if one of them happens to win this weekend and becomes the all-time winningest driver again. Of course, Fitzwater held that for a while. He's held it since 21. and he's about to lose at the Samudio. And funny enough, Nicolas did actually remind me a couple of months ago when I was talking about this, when Samudio actually tied Fitzwater, that he actually held it. Samudio held it for a short bit of time, probably around 2019, when John Art was the first one to take it away. It's a shame, you know, got all the wins, and, you know, on the spreadsheet for each race that we've done on the channel, but we don't have it laid out who's been the all-time winningest driver throughout that stretch. And, you know, we talk about it quite a bit, you know. In 21, there's definitely, you know, in that odd period where we had that Wall Pro Series, it was switching around a little bit between Fitzwater and Turner. Turner actually held it for a short little bit, and then Fitzwater overtook him, pulled away, and now Samudio is tied with him. Well, Fitzwater's got a good run here. 51.090, and that's that Hairgel Motorsports power right there. And this is absolutely going to be a race where we're going to see that range in the rings that you guys picked kind of come into play. And certain trucks are going to absolutely have the speed on others, and a very fast truck there for Zachary Fitzwater, Hairgel Motorsports. Here's our next driver, the driver that drove the truck that just went out last season. Bruno Di Giacomo moving over to Trackhouse Racing here in the 2024 for the Truck Series. Was not a good campaign in the Cup Series for him this season. Of course, still 2 races to go. He got the win in the Meliello Smooth Fest, and it all went downhill from there at the Trinity River Racing organization. But Giacomo here in this 3 machine, not only is he joining Trackhouse for the Truck Series, he's also going to be joining them for Cup next year, and we're definitely able to get that relationship off to a good start with Reggie Fogelman here for this season in trucks. But Bruno Di Giacomo, 2-time winner from last season, got the wins at Richmond and Michigan a year ago in the Truck Series, driving for Hairgel Motorsports early in the season. Kind of fell off a little bit at the end, but had a great run. But we'll see. Was it the driver? Was it the truck? Of course, the truck was fast. Will the driver be fast? It's got to beat a 51.090 to get the pole for Daytona. We'll have to see if the Trackhouse trucks have the speed that the Hairgel Motorsports trucks do. Of course, Reggie's got 2 of them here in this final session. Rogal Dorn coming up. He'll be the last one out. Eric Monaco will be out after Di Giacomo right here. And Bruno Di Giacomo made his debut in the Sprint Series last year. Moved into the Truck Series, had a very successful campaign, and then moved on to the Wall Cup Series. He is now one of the star drivers of the channel, being at the top of both the Cup Series and the Truck Series. Not many drivers actually run full-time in both series. So a lot of the owners in the Wall Cup Series and vice versa run in the other series. 5:03 for Di Giacomo, right in between Taylor and Keyes. That is 3rd quickest. So Fitzwater still atop the standings here in the Fast 6 for Daytona. Here we go for Eric Monaco in the 28. And the fascinating thing, like I mentioned about Monaco, is he did not have a reserve. He could not be a free agent. He had to sign up, which he did. And great to have him back. And he ended up right back where he left from last season. So Eric Monaco back at TP Motorsports, Tanner Parton's team here in the number 28. And what a way it would be for this team to start off their season by winning the pole at Daytona. Of course, Eric Monaco has won here before in a truck. Remember the Hers Dash Series from 4 years ago? And that was really our first true kick into ratings back in the day. And it eventually led to what we have now with the weekly ratings boost, but we implemented a part of what we had in that series to begin this season with the range to start off for these drivers, and we're already seeing that come into play for these guys here in qualifying. Eric Monaco in the 28. Multi-time winner on the channel. However, his success as of late has been restricted to the Sprint Series. A 2-time winner in the Sprint Series this season at Homestead and Oregon. We're going to be going to Oregon here soon for a couple of special races in the middle of September. We're excited for that. I don't think I've announced part of that yet, though I have alluded to it in certain things. Chris Pro Series is going to be there at Oregon here soon, so got that to look forward to. Eric Monaco looking pretty quick right here. I haven't been paying attention to that miles per hour. I just want to talk about these drivers and their accomplishments and all that they have got going on for them here in the Truck Series. This is going to be a fast time, and it's going to go to the top. 51.056 for Eric Monaco and TP Motorsports. How about that? Did not expect that, but you know what? These guys, they came ready. We counted them out, and here they are looking to get the pole for this race. Rogal Dorn, the last one to stop him. We'll see what he can do here in Daytona qualifying. Here we go, our last driver here in the Fast 6 for Daytona qualifying in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. How about Eric Monaco there for TP Motorsports, looking to win the pole for this Featherlite Trailers 250 tonight. But Rogal Dorn, a driver who won a super speedway race last year in the Truck Series, got the win at Talladega for Airshield Motorsports. Obviously, there was a lot of turmoil there at that team last year. To be honest, I don't think it was either Rogal's or Airshield's fault. It was just purely one of the unluckiest seasons you could have. That team should have been way higher in the points. They should have run much better than they did. And, well, here we are today with Rogal Dorn driving for Trackhouse Racing. His teammate, Bruno Di Giacomo, 4th on the board right now. Rogal trying to beat a 51.056. Of course, in case you were wondering, the weather conditions identical for each of these drivers here in this qualifying session. So here we go. What will Rogal do here? Will he be able to get to Eric Monaco? Some of you probably have been paying attention to that miles per hour. I have not been, so I don't really have a good basis here. Hey, this ain't Indy 250 qualifying, you know. Indy 250 qualifying, oh, we pay attention to that. Only thing is, I didn't do that this year. Caleb did that for us this year. 172 down the backstretch here for Rogal Dorn. We'll have to see what the time is going through the corner right here. And if he can hold the speed of 171, look to be the minimum right there. This is going to be close. I think Rogal's got a shot at it here. We'll see what it is across the line. Will it be Rogal Dorn or will it be Eric Monaco leading us to the green flag here tonight? Across the stripe, Rogal's going to go to a 51.191. Eric Monaco has won the pole for the Featherlite Trailers 250 here at Daytona. How about that for Eric Monaco and Tanner Parton Motorsports? Alright, let's debrief, show you the full starting lineup, and we'll be out of here from Daytona until about 3 hours from now, a little under 3 hours from now, for the start of the race at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Alright, you see the official starting lineup right there on your screen. How about Eric Monaco and Tanner Parton Motorsports? Did not really expect them to win the pole for tonight's race, but they will be leading us to the green flag alongside Zachary Fitzwater. Rogal Dorn and Skyler Taylor will make up row number 2. Bruno Di Giacomo and Corey Case in row number 3. And then we're going to go ahead for the rest of them right here. We've got ourselves Loudovick Charette alongside Jack Haas in row 4. Row 5 sees Laura Chung and Blaine Keyes. Row 6 is Nicolas Samudio and Bryce Eagan. Row 7 is LJ Semedo and Justin Zaidel. Row 8 is Scep Silver and Aaron Abel. Row 9 is Lenard Kocsmar and Joe Rutkowski. Row 10 is Nathan Stapleton and Andrew Miller. Row 11, Avery Alford and Emily DeBenedetti. Row 12, Matthew Burnett and Andrew Williams. Row 13, Matthew Hubert and Roberto Crown Jr. Row 14, Jesse Turner and Logan Williams. Row 15, Phillip Torres and Caleb Rose. Row 16, Derek Hamill and Christian Vargas. Row 17, Thomas Troxell and Brian Webb. And then the last row will be Igor Barreto and Duncan Ward. That's the lineup for tonight's 25-lap race from Daytona. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG The Channel. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Eric Monaco on his pole position. And we'll see you guys tonight for the opening race of the season in the 2024 Turkey Hill Truck Series. I will see you guys later.